right, Evan Ginsberg back with another edition of Evan Ginsberg's Legends TV. Honored to have as a very special co-host, worldwide R&B ambassador, Carlton J. Smith, my buddy. How are you today,
I'm
Carlton?
okay. Shake my hand.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Glad to be here.
You had a big gig last night, and you're here first thing in the morning, so I appreciate it.
Yes. So I didn't want to wear shades over my eyes, so please forgive me if I look a little tired. But we were at Joe's Pub.
Beautiful venue.
Huh?
Beautiful venue.
Oh, man, please. It's legendary. And I was part of the Joe McGinty. Wonderful guy, Joe McGinty, his Losers Lounge cabaret show. And it's fantastic. Some of the best singers and musicians in New York City. And we did a salute to Mr. David Bowie. And it was fantastic.
I saw the clip on YouTube.
Did you enjoy it?
It was great.
I got down, huh?
and it was interesting doing an R&B version of Bowie. And Bowie for a while kind of had that R&B sound.
He was going in that direction.
Yeah.
He was going in that direction. Well, the song I did was Fame. And what I wanted to do, there was a James Brown track that had pretty much the same backing track. So I put a little bit of that in there, went back and forth. And I had to hit the audience to the fact that I never knew who David Bowie was growing up until I saw him on Soul Train. And that made all the difference in the world. So it was a wonderful thing to do. Wonderful thing.
As a kid, I grew up on Soul Train as well.
Uh-huh.
And I was always surprised, like you said in the YouTube video, when all of a sudden a white guy came out. And Bowie, Hall & Oates.
I don't remember Hall & Oates.
Yeah, they were on there.
But I remember, of course I remember David
Elton
Bowie.
John.
Elton John, Benny and the Jets. That was a big thing
Yeah.
in the ghetto. Benny and the Jets.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
But they gave the show, that took the show to another level because it was a big thing to have them on. Nowadays, music, and particularly R&B, is so black, white, some of Annie and everybody. But back then, it was strictly black. So anytime we heard a record and we loved it and we found out they were white, it's like, oh my God, it was a huge... Boz Scaggs Lowdown, he's white? You know what I'm saying? Play that funky music, white boy. Well, they kind of tipped us off, right. Wild Cherry. But I mean, it was a big thing back then, you know?
You ever hear a legendary story at the Apollo? The Rascals come out, the audience was shocked they were white.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What did they do?
Whatever their hit was at the time.
No, I mean, what did the audience do?
No, they were just surprised because they had such a soulful sound.
Felix tell you that?
Yeah, Felix Cavalier's tremendous.
Yeah.
He's still out there.
He's got a lot of soul. Is the group still together or?
They kind of come. They were on Broadway. They kind of come together. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
This business. There's so many spin-offs of my favorite groups. It's disappointing.
Every episode of Unsung, the band's killing each other.
Yeah. There's three different groups by the end of the episode. You know, it's like, come on, the lead singer with a bunch of. So the thing is this: who do you go see? Do you go see the lead singer who sang the songs, or do you go see everybody else who was there? You know, it's like the ticket buyer has a choice.
Perfect example, the Temptations, because Dennis Edwards is certainly legit, but technically it's not the Temptations.
Yeah, but if anybody has a right to it, I'd say Dennis. There's been a bunch of guys who've all left the Temptations, then they wind up doing these Temptations reviews. It's like, fellas, you were in the Temptations and you couldn't get it right. But Dennis, he was in there longer than David Ruffin, so he does have the right to do it, I would say. But it makes you just wish that he and Otis could get it together as you do this last run, you know, but we'll see.
There's 3 different versions of the stylistics at this point, and there's probably 27 versions of the Coasters.
Next week, I'll be hosting the Evan Ginsberg show. I'll be Evan Ginsberg.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I figure why not? Oh man, it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, it's a tough business, and I would imagine once you start splintering off and you're fighting for the same bookings, it's even tougher.
But you know what breaks my heart, if I may be allowed to bring race into it for a minute, the white groups, they seem to come together and get that money. That Sting may not even talk to the other 2 guys.
Yeah.
But when it's time to make that money, let's do it.
For $100 million, they'll talk.
Come on. You know, now granted, no one's going to give the Dramatics $100 million, but why dilute that little piece of pie that you have? Why are there 2 Dramatics? Why are there 2 Enchantments? Nobody even knows you guys' names to begin with. You know, so like, come on, pull it together and make it work. Everyone's breaking up years after the glory days are gone. It's sad. You're not having hits anymore. You know what I mean? So,
what do you say to the purist? For example, you'll see the Platters, and obviously it's not the original guys because they started in 1950 or whatever.
Yeah.
So they go, well, that's not really the Platters, and I'm like, well, they're great, the music's great, the original guys are dead. I mean, what can you do?
Well, you know what I would tell the purists, what I would tell those Platters is that as long as you state that it's a salute to the music of the Platters, then that's but don't get on stage and say, right now I'd like to do a song we recorded back in 1945.
Yeah, and the guy's 30 years old.
There, you know, and the guy's 30. Yeah. You weren't there. So that's the problem I have with that. But if you say it's a salute to the Platters, and I can understand it. I can respect that, you know.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
update us on what you're doing. You're going back to Turkey soon?
Well, I'm doing the Evan Ginsberg show, and that's pretty
right.
much all that I need to be doing at this point in my
Thank
career.
you.
Now, let me stop. I'm going back. But I love this. I go back to Turkey. There's going to be a stop in London as well, and I'll tell you about that also. And Turkey's just wonderful for me right now. God bless them, because I know that they're going through some turmoil, but Turkey's wonderful. We're doing that through October. And there may be some other stops here and there, but that's the main thing. Now, the an even bigger thing is I'm going to be a drone in New York City.
Right.
April 1st.
All right.
Be there. It's going to be the most soulful thing you will see. I'm doing a bunch of my songs. I'll do some songs you've heard before, but we're going to have a ball. I guarantee I got a brand new band. It's going to be fantastic. So that's pretty much it.
I was there for your last gig. It's a beautiful
You're always
venue.
there, Evan. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. I really do.
I have seen you probably more than any other performer. I never
you
get
serious?
tired. Probably, I would say so.
Wow. Wow, Evan, thank you.
You and Edwin Vasquez. I never get tired of seeing either of you guys.
Is he the guy that I went to your school and he played
Yeah,
guitar?
yeah.
How's he doing?
He's great. He's
Edwin.
great.
Okay.
Yeah. Edwin did the Cape Man CD with Paul Simon and Mark Anthony. Edwin's
Really?
the real deal. Yeah.
Tell him come down to Drome April 1st and tell him get on stage and do a song. I'll bring anybody on stage. We'll have some fun. Remember that night? I brought everybody up there. It always
right.
works.
That's right.
But you know about my poster show?
No, I don't.
Well, I have all these vintage posters that I collected from way back in the day. Just took them down on street corners, and I still got them, about 200 of them. And what I've been doing when I'm in the States is whoever's performing in New York, I go to them and try to get them to sign them. And for the most part, it always blows their minds.
Yeah.
Because who was it? I think it was either Frankie Beverly or one of the Ozzy brothers said, most people bring me a napkin or a piece of paper.
Right.
You know, to sign. You bought a concert poster from 1977? He said, I've got to sign this. And it's usually a wonderful experience. I've had a few bad experiences where the people just, just unbelievably rude. And it's sad because I want to tell them, hey, look, at this stage in your career, anyone that wants to revere you, you should respect that. You know what I mean? It's no time to act like a diva, So, but for the most part, everybody usually signs the posters and is very glad to see them. They usually wind up taking pictures with them because they no longer have this stuff.
Right.
And also, when they see these posters, it reminds them of the glory days, back when they thought the hit records and the girls were never in. You know what I'm saying? Now they're out there touring because they have to, but this is back in the good days. So I love that. So we're going to do a show in which I have all these posters on display. I talk about the artists. I talk about the actual shows themselves.
So theatrical with live music.
A lifetime of R&B, a lifetime of soul music. That's what it's called.
And where's this?
And I was there.
Where's this going to be?
Well, we're going to start. The first soft run of it is going to be in England. That's why when I go to Turkey, I'm going to go over to England and meet. I'm meeting with a production company. We're working on the script, and then we're going to take it all over the world. Anybody that wants to see some vintage R&B. I mean, I was there. I can honestly say I was there.
Yeah.
So I can tell you what the real deal is. I've been trying to get it at the Apollo, but they're not getting back to me. And it's a shame because it's a show that should be at the Apollo Theater. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
I have some context there. We'll talk.
Oh, yeah. Listen, without a doubt. Everyone knows you, Evan.
Not everyone.
Okay?
In wrestling, they know me.
Okay.
Speaking of which, you know where I'll be April 1st? I will be at WrestleCon with Greg Valentine and Tito Santana.
Really?
It's a big convention. So I'll be
what
signing
you
some autographs.
You gonna sign some autographs?
Yeah.
They know, right? They know you from the movie.
Associate producer of the wrestler.
Right on time. Have you ever hosted a wrestling show, been like the main guy in the center ring with the
Yeah,
mics?
I bring announcements.
Really?
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
I've done angles in wrestling.
What do you mean angles?
Heel manager, come out and antagonize the crowd.
Really? You ever been hit with a chair?
No.
Okay.
No, you can't.
You haven't done wrestling so you get hit with a chair. You gotta get hit with a chair.
Speaking of which, I tell this one promoter, this guy comes out with a kendo stick. Tommy
Okay.
Dreamer, he's our opponent, and I'm like, this guy is not hitting me with the stick. I'm
Okay,
sorry. I'm not
okay.
getting paid enough to get hit with a kendo
Okay.
stick. So anyway,
Did he try?
I'm sure he would have because I'm
Okay.
on the other team. So
Okay.
anyway, this is about you. So
No, that's good. I like that. We should set it up one day on the show where it's like we have a guest getting mad. I just come out of nowhere and hit him with a chair.
That's right.
Let's make it real up in
That's
here.
right.
Why
That's
not?
right. So why don't you set up the clip? We have a live performance of you.
Let's see. This one, if it's the one I think it is, I was on CNN in Turkey, and I recorded. I did a song that it just goes over so well every night of my show. I said, let me go on and do it. It's a song I wrote in China called "Nothing But Fun," and it's like just a celebration. It's one of those songs like "Celebrate" by Conan again that they will always play at parties. And every time I go into it at the end of the night, people just respond to it so wonderfully because they feel like they've heard it before. It just puts them in a party mood. So you're gonna see me and my band in Turkey on CNN doing "Nothing But Fun." Okay, my song.
Let's check it out, folks.
Are we ready? Yeah. What time is it?
Showtime.
What time is it?
Showtime.
What time is it?
Showtime.
Albert. Come on. This is gonna be my first single in Turkey. We're gonna do this song right here. We're gonna release this record. So everybody out there get ready. Cause all we're gonna do is have some fun. Come on, hey! Hi. Yeah. All right. Hey. This ain't nothing but fun, so let's all get it done. And then we move it on. Said it's nothing but fun. Hey John,
right. The great Carlton J. Smith.
Nothing but fun.
There
That
you go.
lady I picked up, couldn't find out she was connected. Her husband's like one of the biggest Turkish mobsters. And I was like,
You're not supposed to say that on TV.
Oh, I'm not? I didn't say that on TV because Evan said it. If you're looking, Turkish mobster.
Yeah.
but it could have. He loved it. He didn't get upset at all. They were so worried about that, you know.
Wow.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of fun out there. A lot of fun.
You are. I'm not saying this to be polite. I'm like you. I've seen everybody.
Okay.
I saw James Brown in the '70s, Al
Oh,
Green
man.
in the '70s.
When it counted.
You know.
Yeah.
At their peak, and you are as great a live performer that's out there today. I seriously
Evan,
mean
thank
that.
you so much. I'm happiest on stage. I get in front of a room full of strangers. I kid you not, because I want to make them all my friends. I love that. I'm working on the personal life and the personal. That's where we usually have our issues. But I'm happy on stage. I love it. In China, I do 6 nights a week, 3 shows a night, and some people think that's grueling, but it gives my days purpose and focus. I love that so much. You know.
So there are people who have compromised, and they did the 9 to 5, and they did the music on the side. You moved to Shanghai, China. Tell us briefly about that.
It's about stepping out on faith. You know, it sounds like a cliche, but it's what you have to do. My last job, I don't know if you know this, my last official job was at the New York Academy of Science, and in 2001. Every Friday night, I sang on the 107th floor of the World Trade Center. September 7th was my last Friday, and I got my check that night. I didn't go back.
Wow.
Because you know what happened Tuesday.
Wow.
And that's just, I'll tell you more about that off camera or whatever, but I thank God for the blessing of being here today. You know what I mean? Because every Friday night, I stood up in those windows and just looked out at the sky. And I remember that last Friday night, a good friend of mine, a phenomenal singer, happy birthday, Sharon Quinn, she came to see me that night, and she left before I went on. I said, Sharon, I'm about to go watch your stage. He said, no, we're up too high. This doesn't feel right. I've never been up here before, Carlton, but it does not feel right.
Wow.
I shouldn't be up here. And she left. And sure enough, Tuesday.
So you think it was a premonition?
Oh, yeah. Because
Wow.
somebody else I spoke to, another young lady said the same thing. The day before, she said, I just feel something bad is about to happen. It's crazy, you know?
There was some famous stories about 9/11. This one guy, he's on the train going to work on 9/11. And he was out partying the night before, and his stomach got really sick, and he had to get off the train and go to the bathroom or stop it too early.
Yeah.
He was sitting on the toilet miles away from, the World Trade Center, where basically everybody on that floor died.
Wow,
So
and that's where he worked?
that's where he worked. He was heading there. He had to get off the train to go to the bathroom.
Wow.
Another famous story was, guy has a job interview the week before, first day at work, he died.
God bless
So
him.
luck is a strange thing.
There's so many,
Yeah.
but all the people who were supposed to be there didn't make it. I hope they've done something phenomenal with their lives. I really do. I hope they've done something great, because that's a case of being spared for a greater glory. You know what I mean? So you have to do something great.
The big question then is, I know so many phenomenal musicians.
I hope we didn't bring anybody down. Just sorry about that. The Evan Ginsberg show
Wow.
makes me weep.
Wow.
Okay.
I know tremendous artists, and many of them have day jobs.
Yeah.
They just can't pay the bills with the music. So would you recommend, particularly to a young artist, taking that chance, picking up, moving maybe across country or to another country like you did?
You have to. You have to go for it, because a day job will always be there. Take the chance. Believe in yourself. Invest in yourself. And it's not always that easy. You know, it's not easy at all. And there's no clear cut. There's no blueprint for it. But you have to step out on faith. Sight will fail you. Faith is eternal. Someone asked me the difference between prayer and faith. Prayer is asking for rain. Faith is carrying an umbrella, because you know what I mean? You walk out with an umbrella because you just know. You have faith. It's like when we put a letter, if anyone mails letters anyway, we put a letter in an envelope, or we hit a light switch. We just know there's going to get there. We wouldn't even think about it. We just know that light's going to come on. That's how you have to believe in yourself and your career. You have to do it. You have to take the chance. You can always find a job. You can always go back to school. You can always do all those other things. But if you have a burning desire and a passion inside you, you must honor that. That is your gift. That is your blessing from God. You have to honor. Am I looking at the right camera? Okay.
Yeah.
You have to.
No, it's that one. No, I'm kidding.
Hey!
Yeah.
You have to do that. There's a wonderful brother who I just became friends with, and y'all check him out. His name is Kyle Jason. He has the Martini Swingers, and we've been talking about this practically every day, and just what it's about: rebranding, focusing on yourself, doing your thing is what you have to do. You know, I wish everyone the best. I really, really do.
And speaking of your career, what would you consider 2 or 3 of the highlights off the top of your head?
Does it have to be my career? Because my daughter Misa Love, that's my highlight. She's the highlight of my
that's beautiful.
life. That sees everything.
And she's a nice kid. I've met her
Oh
many
man,
times.
you know, her mother Terry has done a phenomenal job with her. Well, of course, I was the first man to portray James Brown on the silver screen in the Barry Levinson film Liberty Heights.
And Barry Levinson's a genius.
And you know what? One of the nicest people in the world. And I remember when I did that film, I remember thinking, this may be the best experience I've ever had. I'm going to have, because I just can't believe anybody else would be that nice.
Yeah.
Everybody, from the guy that cooked the food and served the sandwiches to Barry Levinson, they were wonderful people. After that, I began to do a TV show, soap opera, and the people just weren't as cool. It's a shame they wouldn't even speak to you. I mean, all these frustrated wannabe movie stars. It was so disappointing. But I'd say portraying James Brown, Liberty Heights, and one day I'll tell you the story as to how I got that role. It defies the imagination. Performing in China all those years, although I almost lost my soul there. So you have to be very careful, and when you get what you want, you know, because you can wind up in a place of excess, and it just ruins people, it takes people out. You know, you got to be very careful when you go to these other countries. And now being in Turkey, I have my management is Reyhan Yalhi. She's wonderful. She's amazing. Trudy Epic was doing a phenomenal job for many years. Reyhan is doing some other things right now. She's fantastic. She hustles and gets it done. So Barry Levinson, Shanghai, Turkey, and every day is a highlight. Every new song I write is a highlight.
How many songs have you written?
Oh, I have no idea. I write them all. I just discovered how to work GarageBand and Logic, so I'm putting things together. I'm writing #1 records every day.
Yeah.
Bruno, I got Uptown Funk, son. Okay, let's not even talk about that. You know what's so crazy? Every band in Turkey plays that. If I never hear that song again,
it'll be too
they don't even
soon.
play their songs as well. They play that like crazy. So I'm at the BB King's, because I got some Stephanie Mills posters I want her to sign. And she's doing a sound check, and she's doing all the songs. Stephanie's a legendary artist. What does she also do? Uptown Funk.
Right.
Like, Stephanie, why? You got 20 album cuts I'd rather hear than this. I almost cursed. Sorry.
Oh,
than this BS. But God bless. A lot of people mistake record sales for genius.
Yeah.
A lot of people mistake that. You know, mistake luck for genius. And that's all I'll say about that.
I think Bruno Mars is talented, but he also borrows from the best.
Heavily.
You go, there's some James, there's some Jackie
Some
Wilson.
everybody. But luck, I'll say this about him. He's also offered to pay, and he gives credit.
Okay.
So, you know, we can't help but be influenced by these people. Lenny Kravitz did the same thing, but more so in the rock world.
Right.
You can listen to any Lenny Kravitz record. That's the Beatles, that's Zeppelin, that's, you know. So I can understand it. I mean, you can't help. You've seen these guys. So, you know, these kids, they haven't had the pleasure of seeing them live.
Right.
And when you see them live, there's nothing like that. That's why I can't get excited about a Drake or The Weeknd. I saw Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5. I saw James Brown and Al Green and Marvin. I saw them hoarse. I saw them in good health. I saw them high. And they made it work. There was no lip syncing. There was no auto-tune.
Who today can touch these guys, if anybody?
Vocally, I think R. Kelly is a phenomenal soul singer, writer, who's just misguided, keeps making these BS ghetto sex songs. But as a singer, he's phenomenal. As a writer, if he was able to just calm that stuff down and just begin to do great songs, not so much about sex and all this other stuff, just do great songs, he'd be amazing. As a performer, Jaheim has a great voice also. Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah, I love Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah, these are great.
I like
these are
Maxwell.
soul singers.
Maxwell's
nice. He's smooth and mellow and calm, you know. Nobody blazes the stage. Nobody takes the stage and blazes, you know. Yeah. People may want to go berserk about Chris Brown and Neo, but that's Neo. That's just Michael Jackson again. That's all it really is. And you're lip syncing, so nah, it doesn't count. But that's about it. I can touch these guys.
That's right.
Because I was there. You know what I'm saying? I got stories of being backstage at the Apollo and hanging with them and just to breathe the air. I remember once James Brown called me to the dressing room and had me sit right next to him. And I'm sitting there with him. And all of a sudden he goes, uh-oh, get out the dice. And two of the Ozzy brothers come in.
Yeah.
And it's sitting on the other side of him. We're all literally like this. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm breathing this rare air here, man. It's just, I don't know, I can't get excited about Drake and
I gotcha.
after that. You know what I mean? I got a lifetime of that, you know?
There you go. So please plug any websites, upcoming gigs, anything.
Carlton J. Smith, Facebook, YouTube. There's good clips, there's bad clips, there's everything on there. A lifetime of R&B. In the name of James Brown, there's a good chance I may be working with the James Brown Band as well. I'm praying that will come to fruition. That'll bring my life full circle because I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for Mr. Brown. So I'll be a drone April 1st.
There you
2
go.
shows. Come on down and have a good time. Please tell me you saw me in the Evan Ginsberg show, so this way you get an extra hug. And
James
yeah.
Brown once hugged me. He said we're all brothers. I
Really?
swear to God, I gotta make this up.
Oh, Mr. Brown, he was the best.
That's
He was
right.
the best. You know,
That's
he was
right.
the absolute best. So yeah, I mean, Carlton J. Smith, I'm yours. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Okay.
And more R&B with Levon Donnie Tatum right after this
Come
very
on,
brief
Levon.
timeout. He's gonna sing for us as well. And wrestling and horror, we got a smorgasbord for you folks. We'll be right back with more of Legends TV. Don't you dare go anywhere.
What are you looking for? You don't even know that. You don't even know you're on the ball list, so you can't even answer. I'm asking you about it. You gotta be highly skilled. You gotta be highly skilled. You understand that?
Are you sick?
Are you well versed there? Are you a very smart man? Hit me with some funny shit.
My shit's twisted.
Tell me something. Tell me
What do
something.
you have right there?
That's awesome.
Well-
That's a big.
That's nice.
You know damn well. You know damn
That's
well.
awesome. That's awesome. That's
Sir,
awesome.
hey, are you interested? Are you interested or not?
See, you got twisted. You got twisted.
That's twisted. That's twisted. That's talent.
You see what I'm saying? You understand me? And if you can't whip out answers like that, that man is liable to during a commercial break punch your fucking mouth loose. You understand me? Time is up, sir. You understand me? You're on. You're the man. All right, give me your name now. I'm sorry.
My name is Willie.
Willie, where you working at?
We are twisted. We are awesome. Love awesome. Love awesome. Love awesome.
Can you repeat that question again?
Galaxy Luxury Coach is a full-service limousine and party bus company. Family-owned and operated, we are an industry leader with over 25 years of experience in providing best-in-class luxury transportation for your special event. Whether it's your precious wedding day, an all-day wine tour out east, your high school prom, that special birthday, or just an amazing night on the town, our professional chauffeurs stand ready to ensure your special event is truly special. Galaxy Luxury Coach has one of the largest and modern party bus fleets in the New York area. Our party buses are simply nightclubs on wheels. Concert sound systems, light shows, lasers and strobes, multicolor LED lighting brilliantly lights your party bus inside and out. For corporate and more laid-back events, we will cater to your specific needs and requests. What sets Galaxy aside from all others in the luxury transportation industry is our attention to detail in customizing our services to your special event. At Galaxy, it's all about you and your guests. Galaxy customers return time and time again because they know they can trust Galaxy to help deliver those lifetime memorable moments. Step aboard and let your Galaxy experience begin.
All right, we are back with Legends TV, and what an honor it is to have Levon Donnie Tatum from Camden, New Jersey. How are you today, sir?
Thank you. How are you? It's an honor to be here, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Shake your
And you're
hand,
looking
it's
sharp.
wonderful. Thank you, my brother.
Carlton over here always says,
If he
as a
puts-
performer, you should look sharp, and you
If he
certainly
puts
do.
his jacket down, he's gonna lose it today. I'm telling you, you better keep it on, okay?
We can swap.
Okay,
though.
we can
I'm
swap.
loving that.
Okay.
I'm loving that one too.
And you are working with the great Butch Ingram and
Yes,
Society Hill Records. Tell us about some of your work with Butch.
Butch and I go back a long ways. But actually, him and his family. He tried to get me to record way back in the '70s with him when he was doing David Simmons and Booker Newberry and those guys. And I was doing some other things, and I just like it's not the time yet. So once I got with the group True, we kind of hooked back up and whatever, and then we just been. Been like a marriage made in heaven. I mean, he loves my voice. He's writes stuff for me. I'm writing stuff. He's allowed me to do some writing on many of the projects.
He's very talented.
Very, very talented.
Talented family.
The whole family.
Yeah.
And I mean, they got us included on a lot of artists that he also works with who come through him and got us to do backgrounds for him and different things. So it's a beautiful thing.
And what do you consider some of your career highlights?
Man. Man. Working with some of the legends that I grew up almost idolizing, if you will. I've been on stages with everybody from Shaka Khan to the Dixie Hummingbirds to oh, you name it, man. It's been Jean Carn. We did several shows with her within the last couple of years. Beautiful person, beautiful. Those kinds of things. I mean, I had a chance to act in a play at one time. And that's a funny story with that. A guy came to a job I was working. I used to work with the Camden Board of Education. And they came to the job and said, listen, our lead artist has to do a commitment that we forgot about and didn't foresee over in England. And with the play is scheduled to go on and we got to go on. We've heard so much about you. You don't have to audition. You don't have to do anything. The role is yours. And I kept trying to talk out of it. He said, listen, we prayed about it. We've talked about it. The role is yours.
Wow.
Once prayer comes into it.
This is what you're going to make. This is what we want you to do. And we believe that you learn the lines and do whatever. I talked to my wife, I talked to my mother who was living at the time, and they said, go for it. Go for it. It's your time. Go for it. Sure enough, I did it. People liked it enough that they decided when the guy came back and said, well, we got to give him his spot back because he's contracted for it, but we're not going to let you off the show. So when they did the next run of it, they just switched me into another role, and I did that.
Was this in England? Was it the first time going to the
No. This was in up East Coast run, in Atlantic City and stuff like that.
I thought I heard you mention England.
Well, I mentioned it because the guy who had the role originally, he had to go to England.
Oh, okay.
In the midst of it, and so that's how that all came about.
Oh, okay.
But that was really a highlight.
Right on.
Some of the things that I'm doing right now is just, I mean, to be.
Well, why don't you tell us about it? Show the audience and tell us about your projects.
Well, while with the group True, I started doing some additional writing of some things that I couldn't kind of do in that format. So,
and this is TRU. Tell the listeners what that stands for.
TRU is talented, religious, and unique.
There you go.
Very talented young men.
Is it gospel?
It's not actually gospel.
Or spiritual?
No. It's just we were all believers.
Right
on. Well, we were doing R&B.
Okay.
Classic soul type R&B, not the. I heard you speaking earlier about the.
This ain't R&B nowadays. This ain't.
Put on one track and.
That's a whole nother show. This ain't R&B out there now. Okay.
But no, we were singers, and the thing that we were blessed with, everybody wanted a piece of our flavor, and that's how we wound up doing so many artists backgrounds on artists' projects because everybody wanted a piece of that flavor. Because the brothers really could sing.
You know something you said just now, and me as a writer, it's resonated with me. So I'm going to write this later on. That's a great title for "We Were Singers."
Yeah.
And some guys looking back on what they used to do back in the day, because there was no auto tune, there was no backing track, no lip syncing. You had to bring it. If you were hoarse, high, drunk, whatever, you had to get on that stage and bring it. We were singers. I'm going to write that.
Yeah.
Have your lawyer. I'll see you in court, sir. I'll say I never met this man. We were singers. That's brilliant, man. What we gonna talk? We're gonna talk anyway. Let's write it together. Let's write that together.
Let's do this. But yeah, so the first one came out with "Totally Human." It's some things that if you got it, you probably say, "Well, I like this, I like that. I wonder why he put this one on there or that one." There was a couple things that I had written that was on the shelf that I just wanted to come out. So like, there's a song on here. You know, if you go to jury duty, you can't talk about the case.
Okay.
Well, lo and behold, I live within walking distance from the courthouse. So when they let you off for lunch and you couldn't talk about it, I would go home and bang out what I thought I interpreted that day.
Really?
And so finally, by the end of the case, took 6 days, I think, before they finally just settled. I had the song, The Trial.
Okay.
And I said, well, I got to put this out. And if you really listened and used your mind a little bit, you can hear all the ebbs and flows of a trial going back and forth with the whatever.
Okay.
Who was triumphant at the end and the whole nine.
Is that what it's called, The Trial?
That's just called The Trial right here.
Right on.
9 on this.
Remember James? Was it James Carr? It was eight men. They found me guilty. Something. Remember that? Am I going too far back?
No,
The Trial. I want to hear that now.
You're doing okay. The next one I did was Looking Forward to Looking Back. Just some songs that was placed in my spirit to do. And we did them. It's been being received well. I'm grateful to the Almighty for allowing these things to come through me. And then this latest one was just released about the beginning of this month, February, during Love Talk. It's a combination of things you say with your significant other, some of the things you talk about and think about with yourself, and some of the things you would talk about with each other, about, love, the lack thereof, or
trials and tribulations.
Trials and tribulations, respect, disrespect, and how we're going to correct it.
Can I ask him a question?
Of course.
You said something interesting. You said on the second CD, those are some songs that were just placed in your spirit, and you had to put them out. As a songwriter, what places certain things in your spirit? That's a wonderful way of addressing that. Like, people want to know what inspires you. How can you write songs? What places something in your spirit?
There's a combination of things that happen, for me anyway. I can only speak for me. There are some songs that almost come automatically. You get the melody in your head, and they kind of write themselves. There's some songs you get the music to it first, and then you have to write the lyric to it. Yeah. And then there's just a story that's like, I was looking at X, Y, and Z, and for whatever reason, it won't go away. Yeah. So I might as well put it down.
That's in your spirit, yeah.
And do whatever. And when I get in the studio with the guys, the thing that's amazing, I'm not the greatest music reader or writer or whatever, but I can tell you exactly what I want. So I go in and say, listen.
You don't play?
I play drums.
Okay.
I play enough piano to get the chords,
the idea across,
to get it across. I would never lie to nobody and say I can do that.
Okay.
And I sing.
Right on.
And so I was looking at a documentary with Barry White one time where he said he would go in sometimes with a tape recorder with this bass voice and say, strings, I need you to do this. And you all who can chart, I need you to chart that and let's play it. And so I go and do the same thing pretty much. It's like I need this flavor. Nothing else is going to satisfy me. This is what I want, and I'll just whatever's in there. And a lot of times they look at me like,
but real musicians can interpret that. This is great.
They look at me like, how'd you come up with that? Because now you're making me scratch my head and going into theory. We ain't doing.
We haven't done theory in I don't know how long.
And I said, I don't know. It's something innate, and I hear it in here. And if you get close to what I hear up in here, we got something.
It'll manifest itself.
Yeah, we got something.
Evan, do you write? He's been interviewing so many people, but you should be writing lyrics and songs by now, Evan.
I'm not a songwriter, but I've written books and.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Well,
that's true.
So same difference.
Yeah, give me some. I want to sing some Evan Ginsberg lyrics. Right. Yeah. Interviewing bald black guys. That's your next song.
The Union.
There you go. So what do you have coming up? Any gigs?
Pretty much, I'm promoting this. Back, if I could digress back a little bit. Butch and then Society Hill is also getting ready to. I don't know if I should be saying it or not, but I'm going to say it. They're getting ready to release a solo project on me soon, as well. So it's near complete, and I'm excited about that as well. So pretty much I'll be doing that. what's been happening for me lately, more so than doing a whole lot of performing, because I've had some health issues with diabetes and different things. So I kind of was the real reason why I kind of took a sabbatical from the group True and whatever, and kind of slowed it down and made sure I took care of those things.
So you must appreciate 10 a.m. sound checks.
Huh?
Yeah.
Especially when you go to a performance of somebody
night
else's
before.
the night before, and you just getting in.
Oh yeah.
Near 1 o'clock.
Who you gonna see?
There's a group in Camden called the Unity Community Center that does wonderful work with the children and underprivileged folks from that town.
Right on.
And I don't know if you listen to the news, they say my city is one of the cities that's supposed to be one of the most dangerous and
Camden?
Camden, New Jersey, per capita is supposed to be one of the most blighted and dangerous, quote unquote, cities in America.
Wow.
And if you live there, you don't believe that, but it, like any other city right now, if you go there and present yourself as a victim, you will be victimized. But
Okay, good point.
But
That's anywhere you're going.
but there's some beautiful things and some beautiful people and organizations who work tirelessly to do positive things that kind of very seldom get talked about in the proper light.
Yeah.
Well, this one of the organizations who did, and they put on a presentation taking you on a musical journey and a civil rights type of journey all the way back from Africa to modern day.
Wow.
And they even brought out some artists on it, which are friends of mine, the Blue Notes, one of the original singers of the original Ebony's.
Whoa.
David Beasley, he's got a group that he endorses, and so they were on the show as well. And to get back to the group, to the organization, I mean, they teach these kids everything from martial arts to praise dance, modern dance and jazz, economics, you name it, whatever. There's something to steer them in the right direction and train them up with practical, hands-on applications. They
bring up a child in the way.
I mean, they have sent young kids to get actual stilt walking training.
Wow.
That you see in
Circuses.
the big circuses.
Wow.
I mean, they start training them, and they have folks from Africa that have come and taken and started training them up, so that by the time they're able to actually stand up and perform the things that they're doing on them stilts, is like.
Which is always scared me. I never knew how people could do that. It seems so.
I watched them. I mean, I've been watching them and backing and supporting them for.
Levon, you ain't getting on no stilts, are you?
Yeah.
Oh no way. No sir.
He's doing a very special set today on stilts. This is
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the next song. Bald black guys on stilts. We'll be right back.
The new album.
Yeah.
Okay.
You be picking me up
Oh
off the
man,
floor.
Hey. Your work sounds great, man.
But
I just want to say something briefly. You've been an educator as well, as have I in a previous life, and your wife. I think the schools, it's disgraceful when they cut out art and music. I mean, this keeps kids off the streets.
Totally.
you know, the people who now think that it doesn't have merit for
Don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah.
You know, all of your sciences, your mathematics, history, English, whatever you want to do can be done right through the performing arts. And it has been documented that these things help and support students that way by exposing them to those kinds of things and opening up their mind to be able to do it.
It sharpens their minds.
But when they look for dollars and ways to cut dollars and streamline things and try to run schools like Fortune 500 companies instead of the business of education,
Right.
this is where we suffer. And the
one
ones
of
who
the
suffer
first
the
things to
most,
go.
and the ones that suffer the most are the kids who indigenously learn their things from seeing and doing and mimicking and
Yeah.
emulating and doing those kinds of things.
And taking it another step, kids shouldn't get out of college owing a mortgage. I mean, by the time they're done with the tuition, it's insane. Everything's a business today.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
I listened to him say he went to China on Step on Faith and knew that within your spirit that you had to do something, and that would be a place where it could start.
Yeah.
And it came into fruition, and look at where it's blossoming into now. One of the things that has always intrigued me about Eastern philosophy that way is I've got to know quite a few Asian folks, and they were saying, like, when we come over to go to school and go to the universities, we have to go back home, and on our off times, we have to go back and work in the fields.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so that we never lose our grounding and lose
sight
our
of where you
place,
come from. Yes.
of where we come from, and the responsibility we have
Yeah.
once we achieve and arrive. And like, wow, you taking all of that away from folk right here in your own background, in your backyard.
But you know, but we can do it also. It's just a matter of instilling it in the children. Because when they come over, they are about that education. They ain't coming over to, well, I mean, of course, there's some exceptions, but they ain't coming over to party or hang or do whatever. They are about that education because they're going to take that back and build a community. And that's what I wish kids here in America would do, particularly black kids. And that's not to say that there are some black kids doing it. But, you know, that really needs to be the focus, because once you have an education, that can never be taken away from. Once you know, you can't not know. I think with Unity Community,
Yes.
is it? I think what they're doing is fantastic. God bless them.
It is. Look it up on the website.
Oh, I plan to.
On the internet when you get a chance. Wonderful things the family Wanda and Robert Dickerson are doing, and they've been doing it for over 30-some years.
Wow.
Let me ask you this: where are you going to be performing? I want to see him perform.
That's
now.
right. You're going to see him in a few minutes before me.
Okay, all right, okay. But you know, we behave when we're here. I want to see him in a nightclub misbehaving. You know what I'm saying? Where you going to be at?
Please plug any gigs, any websites, anything.
Pretty much, I haven't been doing I've been a studio rat for the last, I'll say, year or so. I've been just cooped up in the studio.
We got to get him to Drome April 1st. Come to my show. Evan will tell you, I bring people on stage.
Oh, yeah.
What you want to sing? My Girl?
I can.
We'll talk back and forth. You let me know a song you know. I have the band learn to come get on stage and get down with me, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's do. Okay.
There you go.
You gave me an invitation. Let's go.
That would be good.
Now.
Please plug your website. Anything you want to plug.
Okay. You can go to www.ldtatummusic.com. That's my website. You can go to Levon Donnie Tatum with Reverb Nation or Facebook or Levon Tatum at Twitter. I'm on everything. Google me if all else falls short. You'll find that it looks like I'm doing a whole lot and got a whole lot of money with all the pages they got listed on me. But that's not the truth.
Everybody need to know that. Yes, it is.
That's not the
Let
truth.
me hold $20 real quick.
Sure.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk horror. We're going to talk wrestling and a live set from Mr. Tatum. Don't you dare go anywhere. More of Legends TV in just a bit.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance. Maybe she needs help with that computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels it's hard. Ou aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this. You'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. No, shh. Trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue Tequila. Now, mix it up. Ole. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
Hi, I'm going to do a live commercial. Hi, I'm Renee Marie, the president and founder of Renee Marie's Language of Love Foundation. I would like to personally invite you to our second annual telethon held right here on Madhousetv. Did you know that nearly 80% of strokes could be prevented? By knowing the signs and getting to the hospital within a 4.5-hour window, you could save your life or someone's you love life or anyone's life. Strokes do not discriminate who it affects and at what time. A stroke can happen at any time and play a huge impact in your life. Do you know what aphasia is? It is a result of a stroke or brain injury, which affects the ability to speak and communicate. Think about how you would feel if you cannot express yourself, even in the simplest forms. I am blessed to say that I am a stroke survivor and can humbly speak of the experience of how it feels to express myself, to not be able to express myself, and not to understand. It is devastating. Please join us on March 20th, 2016 on Madhousetv for a Language of Love telethon, which supports strokes and aphasia. You can visit our website at www.languageoflovetelethon.org. Together, we are lifting our voices and changing the face of strokes and aphasia around locally and around the globe. God bless you, and I'll see you on Madhousetv on March 20th, 2016. God bless everybody. Ciao.
We are back with Legends TV, joined by horror blogger Zainab Ali and Vinny the Guido, wrestling personality. And you two prove the point that inevitably couples begin to look the same. Do you realize this? Look. Yeah.
You know, did I ever tell you that? Did I ever say that to you? I said it to somebody. I think I said it to him.
It's absolutely true. And people start to look like their dogs as well. Do you ever notice that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, I've noticed that plenty.
I notice it more with couples. Couples tend to look like. Are you saying Vinny and I look alike?
You're starting to.
Evan, you got to go to Lens Crafty. She's prettier than him. Okay.
Absolutely. And your heads even move at the same. It's interesting.
I don't know how to.
Listen, if I wanted to hear a butthole, I'd fart. All right.
Okay. All right. I'm about to walk off this set. Okay.
Yeah,
he's a heel wrestling manager. This is what he does.
That explains it. That explains a lot.
And speaking of looking the same, Vinny, introduce your son.
This is my very musical and talented son, who is also a high honor student, and he is very smart when it comes to knowing the wrestling history, as well as being very musical and talented. In fact, he performed on the Intrepid, believe it or not.
In front of thousands of people, I might add.
Yes. and when he gets to high school, he's going to perform at Carnegie Hall.
So how come you're sitting on the couch today and not singing then? Nobody told me any of this. We could have had you performing today.
He plays, right now he does the flute. Tell him what instruments you play.
I play the flute and the bass drum.
Okay. It would be better if you were playing them on the TV show,
Oh,
but
yeah.
next time.
Next time, yeah.
Next time.
Yeah.
There's always a next time.
Always the next time. But wrestling, I mean, Vincent, explain about some of what you know about the wrestling knowledge from the history.
Well, thanks to the WWE Network, I watch old clips of like the Hulk Hogan era, even Bob Backlund and Greg Valentine.
What were you telling me earlier?
I'm on the road with Greg Valentine. I love Greg. Greg's like a big kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, very true.
But explain about what you were telling me earlier about what you found out about him winning the title, what you were telling me earlier.
Oh, like with the ECW stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. With ECW, I know a lot about that, like the fact that the franchise Shane Douglas has held the ECW title a record of 4 times. 2 times were long reigns, and the other 2 were short reigns. But as a total combined number of days he held the title between his 4 reigns, 834 days.
That falls under the category of too much information.
Yes.
He was a school teacher, by the way, Shane Douglas. He's a very sharp guy.
That's why he did the Dean Douglas character.
Yeah, very intelligent guy.
Could I ask him something?
Sure.
I'm a boxing fanatic. I was never that into wrestling. I'm a boxing fiend. What would you say is the main difference between boxing and wrestling? A boxer or a wrestler? What would you say?
Well, wrestling, you get slammed on your head and stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's a big difference.
Boxing, you get punched in your head.
Do you remember when Muhammad Ali fought the wrestler Antonio Inoki? Yeah, 15 rounds, you know? Yeah.
Mike Tyson's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
He is?
Yeah,
Yes,
he
he
did.
is.
What?
He did stuff with D-Generation X back in
WrestleMania,
90s, I think.
yeah,
When his
and he
career
did
was
WrestleMania and
I-
all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I was out of the country. I missed that.
He's in the celebrity wing of the Mike Tyson's in the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh, right on. Okay.
So believe it or not, mixed martial arts, boxing, wrestling, it all goes hand in hand, and they're all in the entertainment industry in some form.
Okay,
So
you're right about that.
it's,
You're right about that.
It's just you hit the canvas differently.
Okay.
Getting punched in your head and kicked in your head is,
Do you remember my wrestling trivia I told you last time?
What
A lot of
was
people
that?
know this. Wrestling had a major influence on 2 of the biggest black personalities ever. James Brown got his cape routine from Gorgeous George.
That's right.
And Muhammad Ali got his whole "I'm beautiful, I'm pretty" from Gorgeous George also.
That's right.
That was a
Oh,
straight
yeah.
wrestling influence, you know.
Absolutely.
Whatever happened to Gorgeous George?
Why do you think
He
why do you
died
think-
young.
Why do you think Floyd Money Mayweather is? His entrances and his and the way
Okay.
he-
Okay.
he's just very.
That's a wrestling
flank-
hoop, a
yeah.
pomp and circumstance. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he was even at WrestleMania. He went against
Big
he went
Show.
against the Big Show at
WrestleMania
WrestleMania
24.
WrestleMania
Where
24.
was that? Did you
That's
know
the same
about this?
WrestleMania that
Okay.
Undertaker won the world title against Edge.
Okay. All right.
Well, in merging the boxing and the wrestling, you think that's what kind of brought out the mixed martial arts now?
Oh yeah,
That's so
absolutely.
big
And their
now?
entrances. I mean, they they do entrances too, just like in wrestling. It's
Okay.
That
Yeah.
Kimbo Slice fight last
Did you
night for
see
Bellator
that?
was
I
one of
almost
the
fell
worst
asleep.
things I've ever seen.
yeah,
Are
but
you serious? I feel like I could beat Kimbo Slice now. He can't fight.
You 2 guys could have had a better fight than that.
honestly, though, it's
We're
like
gonna fight over his jacket. That's
yeah, but you know what's weird though? It's like you couldn't. As horrible as it was, you couldn't take your eyes off of it. It was like watching a train wreck.
Yeah, what's gonna happen?
It was
Yes,
like watching
exactly.
a train wreck. It's
Exactly.
like, wow, look at that crap. That
This
was
was
horrible. You know?
pathetic,
He
man.
didn't even knock him out. The guy just he just took a nap. He
Yeah.
just-
Between that and
was
Royce
it
Gracie
fixed?
cheating by kneeing Ken Shamrock in the nuts before he knocked him out, that was pretty bad.
I didn't see.
he-
Was that
he
last
hit,
night?
hit him in the groin. I don't know if it was intentional.
Oh, it was intentional.
Really?
Because if you notice, after that, Royce Gracie said, "Hey, look, there was no rules back in the day." I took my shot.
Wait, when did this happen?
That was right after Kimbo's
Oh, I
fight.
missed it.
Yeah,
Okay,
right
I
after
gotta see
Kimbo's-
that.
yeah.
Shamrock's 52 years old and Royce Gracie's 49, and they fought in the main event, which was
Wow.
interesting in and of itself.
Okay, I got to use
Shamrock still looks like Superman, He's
So did Kimbo, but I mean that was I
yeah.
just can't get over that. Oh
My
my god.
fiance, she's a horror blog writer, but she's also a writer in general. Like she's coming out with an audio book of a couple different horror stories in one thing, like 6 different stories.
What's
in
the
one.
us
scariest
about it.
story? Tell me.
Well, basically, I'm almost done with the project, with the book, and the release date it's not official yet. I'm hoping by sometime by March, because February's done. So I'm hoping so, and when it's released, then I'm gonna let everybody know.
And tell us about the blog itself.
The blog, basically, it's about anything horror related, any movie, anything horror related, any nightmare, anything that comes to mind.
I just saw Maggie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's tremendous, tremendous. It's almost a metaphor. Somebody has a sick relative. His daughter's turning into a zombie.
This is a new movie?
It came out last year, which
Okay.
sounds ridiculous, but it's heart-wrenching
Ridiculous.
because he can't do anything to help her, and she's dying in front of him.
When did this
It's
whole
like-
zombie craze come back? Remember zombies for
Walking
like 50
Dead's
years?
been huge.
All of a sudden, everything is zombie,
Yeah.
zombie, zombie.
Unfriended was a
Even in
good
Call
movie.
of Duties.
Yeah,
Unfriended,
okay.
Unfriended was a good movie.
Yeah.
You see, the reason Walking Dead works so well, and just jump in, is because it's like if you were watching Star Trek and suddenly they ate like McCoy or Sulu, like at any given moment the main characters get killed, so there's real suspense, right?
Okay, because I haven't been watching it at all. Okay.
Spot died in the show,
And he died in real life too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What scares you?
Yeah.
What scares me?
Yeah.
Dealing with me.
I can imagine. I can imagine that.
Dealing with dealing with them, like you said. That has to be the worst. If I had to choose what scares me the most.
She'd rather deal with my son than me. Let's just
Well,
put it
I'll
that
tell
way.
you what scares me about the boys is that they're growing up too fast.
Okay.
That scares me the most.
Okay.
But as far as anything horror related goes, I'm more scared of the old school horror movies. That's why I embarked on the blog, just to talk about old school horror movies. Very few horror movies.
That's www.nightmarenook.horrorblog.com. That's nightmarenook.horrorblog.com.
This is a promo from Vinny the Guido.
When you say old school, you mean like Dracula meets Frankenstein, those old
Yes,
black and white
yes.
films like that?
Hammer-
No blood
Hammer
involved, but
horror.
you were scared.
Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee.
Okay,
yeah.
Chiller Theater.
And Lucio Fulci.
Yeah.
But that has, he was one of the godfathers of gore, but he incorporated gore and psychology. It wasn't just gore. It was a lot of psychology.
Since you mentioned that, I love Walking Dead, and you deeply care about the characters.
Yeah.
One of the most traumatic things I've ever seen is when they're looking and looking and looking for the little girl, and she's a zombie. I forget the kid's name, but you know the character I'm talking about. She was in the barn, and she comes out. That was very traumatic because you deeply care about the characters. So the big question is, do you need all that gore? I don't.
It really depends. A little bit it depends on the movie. It depends on the setting. A little bit is okay, but sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's not enough. So it really depends. Like in that movie, Don't Torture the Duckling, where it took place in the Italian village, and a bunch of little boys are found dead.
Wow.
And there were a few suspects. One woman who was a witch, another woman who was very promiscuous, but nobody suspected the priest until later on.
Is this based on a true story or some
No,
sort?
no.
Okay.
But at the end, I remember, and I keep watching this over and over. At the end, the priest gets into a scuffle. He's trying to throw his deaf little baby sister over the cliff, and
This is some priest.
Something she'd like to do to me, I might add.
yes. And then the promiscuous woman and another guy, another man, they're the ones who end up saving the little girl. So the man and the priest get into the scuffle. The priest loses his footing, falls off the cliff, and as he falls off the cliff, you see his head hitting every rock, the impact, and his
Wow.
face is ripping off. There's blood everywhere. You see that.
Wow. And what is
It's
this called again?
Don't Torture the Duckling.
Don't Torture the Duckling?
So my question would be, why does this appeal to you? A lot of women would be turned off to this.
She's twisted.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love horror
She said
also.
yeah.
She's like, yeah.
That's the thing. I just watch.
You tell she wasn't listening to what I said. She's like, yeah.
I watch. I just. I don't know why I'm so drawn to some of the twisted stuff.
Because you're messed up.
Yeah. There's,
But bum.
that's I don't know. I keep watching that.
Tons
over
of
and over.
female Walking Dead fans. I know that. Right.
Walking Dead and American Horror Story.
What's your take on Fear of the Walking Dead? I don't think it's quite as good, but it's well worth seeing.
I'll be very honest with you. I don't really follow it because, like I mentioned, I'm very much into the old school horror.
Right.
I like some of the new stuff, only if it's independent movies. But mostly I just follow I live in the past.
I got one for you. You ready?
Sure.
Blackula. Did you ever see that? Yeah. Did you ever see Blackula?
Yeah.
Probably a long
With
time
William
ago.
Marshall, who was a trained opera
Shakespearean actor,
Shakespearean actor who got pigeonholed because of that one film.
Scream
Did you ever
Blackula
see-
Scream. The
Yes.
Did you
sequel.
ever see the
That's
That's
right.
the
Vampire in
problem.
Brooklyn?
No, but
Did I
that's
see
the
what?
problem.
Vampire in Brooklyn. Did
Oh,
you
the
ever
Eddie
see that?
Murphy film. Yeah. He looked like Nick Ashford. And
That's the damn problem. Is typecasting though.
yeah.
Being typecasted so.
What did you think of Vampire in Brooklyn?
I haven't seen it in years. It was funny, but
Okay.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Okay.
I
You should watch it again.
I should. I could easily write about that because.
And wait, there
I-
was also Abby. Did you ever see Abby?
Abby was the Black Exorcist.
Yes.
I saw it.
Yes.
Yeah. William Marshall.
Yes. Okay.
William Marshall was great.
Yes,
those were
yes.
American International Pictures. They would shoot
Yes.
them on about 20 grand. Also, Fred Williamson worked for AIP.
Yes.
They
I
would
have a
shoot these
question.
movies on 20 grand. They would make a fortune.
Wow.
Do you watch any white films?
Yeah, I'm watching one right now. I'm watching one right now, and it's scary.
Don't trust me, it is scary.
No, of course I do.
That's too good.
Of course I do.
Man.
Oh, God.
I love you guys. You guys got such a great sense of humor. I love it.
You gotta have it.
So
What
what?
do you think about Carrie?
Carrie?
The
new
original
one
was
was
great.
horrible.
The original.
The original was great.
Original?
Yeah.
Original is the best.
Because you cared about her. Again, it
Yeah.
always comes back to caring about the character.
Yeah.
Sympathizing with
Yeah.
the bullying. and
Friday the
domestic
13th, they're
violence
just
victims.
slashing people. You don't care.
Yeah.
They're just nameless, faceless victims.
Yeah.
The original Halloween was tremendous
Yes.
because you really care about Jamie Lee Curtis. You don't want her to die.
I liked Soul Plane. That was pretty good. Dr. Dre was in that, and
Yeah.
that was great.
You have my deepest. No, really, man. I'm gonna pray for you, son.
That's right. That's right.
You live with him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
All right. This is for everybody. We got to wrap this up real quick.
Oh, come on, not
I'm a
now.
daily
This is getting
basis.
good. This is getting good.
Favorite horror movies.
Okay.
Give us your 1 or 2 favorite horror movies, everybody.
One or two. I'm just gonna. I have so many, but just off the top of my head, since you mentioned
So you
it.
could do 3 because you're the expert.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Carrie, The Exorcist, Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery. Okay.
Yeah, that
Damn,
was
she
talk
took my
about
favorite movie.
talk about caring so much. Pet Cemetery was one of the most tragic horror movies I've ever seen or read about.
Okay.
Because it's very family oriented. The whole thought of your whole family dying is,
Especially Fido.
yeah.
Yeah, Vinny.
Well, like she said, Pet Cemetery is one of my favorite all-time movies. And also Cat's Eye. Stephen King's Cat's Eye was one of my favorites.
Okay.
I like Child's Play 2 and Nightmare on Elm Street, the
Original.
The original.
All right.
Yeah, the remake was horrible.
Carl?
All the
I wasn't.
remakes suck.
I must say I wasn't a big fan of the genre because none of the movies ever really scared me. But the one thing I always remember being scared about, and you can tell me the name of the movie. The calls would come where kept getting these calls. Did you check the children? Did you check the children? And then the detective shows up.
Stranger in the House was
Is that it? We've traced it. The calls are coming from within the
Yeah.
house.
She knows
I
all
remember
that.
being shocked at that moment. That's the
Yeah.
last time I was scared at a horror film. What movie is that?
I think it's something with the don't a stranger in the house or don't answer the phone or something.
Something like that. That's
Something-
the last thing that scared me. Other than that, I usually, no
Yeah.
offense, but the movie, they don't really scare me because I don't think it's
Every-
true.
I like comedies. Comedy's my speed.
Listen, I watch
No.
other things.
I like comedy and action.
I watch
Comedy-
other movies
comedy and
besides
action,
horror
okay.
too.
Okay,
yeah.
what's
I
your
don't.
Favorite horror film?
Oh, well, I'm not real big on it either, but going way back, I used to like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, what did you think of Hitchcock? Would you say he's horror or that's more psychological?
Suspense,
Suspense.
psychological horror. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
say.
Birds.
Psycho's horror?
I know what you mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
So
one.
I would say easily the original Halloween, Dawn of the Dead, and Psycho. Psycho was scary.
Yeah. They stopped people from taking showers, remember?
I haven't taken a shower since. That was 1960. Yeah, I'm joking.
That's why you smell them.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, don't forget to buy her pillows, Nightmare Nook Car Blog pillows. You can get t-shirts, you can get a coffee mug. She sells it on her website. Again, nightmarenookcarblog.com. Check it out.
What's on the pillows? Horror images?
You'll see horror writing.
Right now, there's only one design out now, but there's several that are being designed now as we speak, which will be coming out eventually.
I'm even helping her with the designs too.
Yes,
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Vinny, upcoming wrestling shows.
We got actually Predator Pro Wrestling is March 12th. It's going to be done at the Martin Luther King Center in Long Beach, Long Island, New York.
Martin Luther King would be so proud to know that Predator Championship Wrestling is coming.
I know. I'm not going to say anything.
Come down
leave that alone.
Come down and check that out. It's going to be a good show. Also, East Coast Pro Wrestling Long Island Division is having a show in April. I don't know the date on that yet, but I'm pretty sure Robbie Rebel and Bobby Dream will be on here talking about that too.
Yeah. And the guys from Predator Championship Wrestling are coming here in a week or two also. Nightmare's coming.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Nice
He's
guy.
the promoter. Nice guy. Really good guy.
And there's not a lot of nice guy promoters. It's a
not-
short list.
It's really
Yeah.
not. I mean,
Probably the same in the music business, right?
all forms of entertainment is a very shady industry, so you got to be careful on who you do business with. It's it's a very cutthroat industry.
Yeah.
I mean, some promoters, whether it be wrestling, music, or anything, like they'll say, "Oh yeah, I'll pay," and then when you get there, they're like, "Oh, I don't have enough, to pay you." That, or they'll give you a check that ends up bouncing because it's made of rubber half the time. So, that's why you got to get half your money up front, and the other half is before you do the work.
Right before
When
you step on that stage.
When
Yeah.
you get the rest
Yeah.
as soon as you get there.
I've had conversations as an agent bringing in legendary wrestlers for autographs where the guy will go, "The house wasn't good tonight." I'll go, "Excuse me, the place was full.
Yeah,
Give us the
yeah.
money you promised us."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like I'm like the enforcer. I got a 280-pound wrestler behind me.
Well,
I
they ripped us
have to
off.
get
No,
the
they ripped
money.
You off. You gonna pay me?
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the music business, the wrestling business,
It's
the
not just
boxing
entertainment,
business. It's all comparable.
It's not just entertainment, it's everything. It's everything.
You know what it really boils down to is people. There's some people that could care less about art or creativity. All they care about is the money. We're passionate about what it is, our beliefs. So we're always going for that aspect of it. Where there's other people, all they care about is that from the minute they sit down, from the inception of the conversation, they're thinking of ways to jerk you out of your money. And remember that.
It's
That's
true.
all they're thinking
Oh,
about.
yeah.
And we don't see that. We believe their conversation. Focus on the business. This is one thing I can tell you as a young man. Focus on that business.
And you got to be marketable too.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to be marketable.
Yeah.
If anybody's looking to book top name talents for your future events coming up, go to www.topofthelinetalentbookings.com.
There you go. So when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, just want to thank the panel. When we come back, we will have Mr. Tatum doing a live set. This is going to be incredible. Don't you dare go anywhere.
I need you to unlock. And then I just want to say.
Hey, I'm Tom Mealy, once again coming to you from the fabulous Madhouse TV studios here in Deer Park. And this is about the Mousetrap Cafe. Now, I know that everybody's excited. Everybody wants to get in. Everybody wants to book parties. People want to experience what we're going to be offering in the village of Amityville. Unfortunately, folks, there's been a slight delay in construction, weather conditions. It's pushed us back a couple of weeks. So just bear with us. Trust me, the experience is going to be exciting. But what I want to talk to you about today is the amount of people that are calling, looking to book private parties. Yes, we would love to have you, and we'd love to have you experience the Mousetrap. So this is what I want you to do. Due to the overwhelming response and the amount of people booking, whether it's a private party for a wedding or whether it's a bar mitzvah, whatever the case may be, I want you to get on the site, go to our contact page, send us an email. Let us know the date and the time that you'd like to book and the amount of people. We will respond promptly and we'll get back to you and we'll tell you whether or not that date's going to be available. Lock it in now. It has been surreal on the amount of people that have been calling us, emailing us, that want to experience this incredible opportunity to be one of the first to enjoy what we have to offer at the Mousetrap. So, get on the webpage, send us an email, Go to our contact page. Everything's right there. Let us know. Leave your phone number, again, the amount of people, and the date that you're interested in, and we'll get back to you right away. In the meantime, stay warm. Spring is coming soon, and so are we. Take care. Tom Mealy from Madhouse TV, and when I'm not at the studio, I'm here at the Harrison Law Group. This is my real job. And this January 2015, Brett and I are putting together a show called Legal Straight Talk. It'll be aired on Cablevision as well as here at Madhouse TV. You need to tune in. This information that we're going to be giving the public is the real deal. It's all about what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So tune in this January 2015 for a new episode of Legal Straight Talk. Hi, I'm Tom Mealy from Madhouse TV, and when I'm not at the studio, I'm here at the Harrison Law Group. This is my real job. And this January 2015, Brett and I are putting together a show called Legal Straight Talk. It'll be aired on Cablevision as well as here at Madhouse TV. You need to tune in. This information that we're going to be giving the public is the real deal. It's all about what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So tune in this January 2015 for a new episode of Legal Straight Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just met this brother, and it is a pleasure and an honor. So in the grand tradition of all the great soul singers that have come before us, he's continuing on, and he's doing his thing, and it's wonderful. So please welcome, if you will, to Madhouse TV, Camden Hill, Camden, Jersey, Camden, New Jersey, Society Hill recording artist, my man, Levon Donnie Tatum.
Thank you, Cole. From my current CD, During Love Talk. During love talk, I said I love you more. Soon as something went wrong with us, might as well have the words meant to pass. Then he said and she said and I said and you said that we said something is wrong between you and our people. Try to analyze for the words meant for our ears alone. During love talk, during love talk. talk, love talk. During love talk, we promised faithful love. During love talk, we pledged our all and all. Happy as two peas in a pod, sharing love that we hope will never stop. And he said and she said and I said and you said and we said something was wrong between you and her. People try to analyze for the words before our ears alone. During love talk, during love talk, people try to fit into love talk, people try to fit into love. Think we say thank you so much. The things we say, the truths, the lies, the everything that we say during love talk. Early this morning, I kneeled down to pray. Put my knees on the floor, fell flat on my face. Pain blurry eyed, not upside my head, but it just ain't my day. But I won't complain. Oh no, 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 not today. Oh no, 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 let me say, life is great, but it just ain't my day. Looked at my bank book and my money's kind of small. Bill collectors came, made sure to take it all. Look on the bright side, I heard somebody say, but it just ain't my day. Still won't complain. No, 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 not today. No, 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 let me say, life is great, but it just ain't my day. How can I make the claim that today just ain't my day? I know I'll make or find a way. Lessons come, seasons change. Tomorrow this time still be today. Better be careful what I say. Oh no. so high. Hit the ground and you say yeah. Look to my people and my husband's face today. All that I got that I'm taking in today. All I'm doing right, I must say, today really is my day. Thank you so much.